Welcome back to my channel! Today we'll be discussing Sayonara Game by Yuu Minaduki. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button now and get your BL Library card for the BL Library. Before we get started, there will be spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiling this manga, go ahead and click off now. No worries, I'll catch you next time. Now for those of you left behind, let's go over some content warnings. There may be references to sexism, sister complexes, relationships between a boss and employee, not the main couple, bullying, gossiping, self-deprecation, encouraging a relationship between a minor and an adult, also not the main couple, overwork, parental pressure, homomesia, breakups, mentions of cheating, not between the main couple, and comments on a person's weight, specifically regarding weight loss, as these things do appear in the manga. But if that's okay with you, let's go and get started. Just a quick note, this is the first entry in a shared world created by Yuu Minaduki. Each entry, or series, is self-contained, but it's recommended to read them in the order for the best experience. Arimura adores his younger sister and wants what's best for her. As the college exams near, he's determined to ensure she has the best chance at getting into the college of her dreams. Unfortunately, his plans go awry when his high school kohai, who's been tutoring his sister, has to bow out. Thankfully, the friend has another mutual classmate he offers to tutor in his stead. He's Yosuke Ito, another of Arimura's kohai, who also played on their high school baseball team. While Arimura fondly recalls much of his high school baseball career, he doesn't remember Yosuke. But that doesn't matter all that much. As long as Yosuke can help his sister study, he's happy with almost anyone. Yosuke's a bit standoffish and quiet, but is otherwise acceptable. With his sister squared away, Arimura can focus on his own issue, his work crush. Arimura is popular and successful at his job, but he's not all that confident when it comes to romance. So when he finds out the object of his affection is being pursued by the chief at work, he encourages her to be with his rival rather than try and fight for her. Though it was his decision, he's heartbroken and bemoans his poor luck in finding love. As it turns out, Yosuke happens to be at his house, and he has been most days as he helps Arimura's sister prep for exams. But Arimura also notices Yosuke's attention is often on Arimura himself, and in turn, Arimura finds himself watching Yosuke. The tension is high, and Arimura soon realizes this is another crush. Unfortunately, his rival in love this time is his very own sister. His sister has been doing her best to seduce Yosuke, and though Arimura isn't willing to give his sister over to someone, he also finds himself not wanting to give Yosuke up to anyone either. Can Arimura stop his self-sabotaging ways, or will he say sayonara to another potential partner? To start out with, the art in this is cute. I wouldn't say it blows me away, but it's very consistent, which I'm a big fan of. I'm also happy to say that the sex scenes are uncensored. My fellow degenerates rejoice. But there are very few. I'm pleased to say the few scenes we do get look great, so that's a huge win. Back to the art style though, it sort of gives me old school 90s to early aughts yaoi vibes, but cleaner and more refined. It just has a nostalgic vibe to it. Maybe that's why it doesn't speak to me as much as it probably should. I'm not positive, but it looks great and is very consistent, so I can't imagine most people would be disappointed with it. As with most art styles, the art only gets better as we navigate to later entries in this shared world, but we'll talk about those when we get there. This is the weakest entry in the entire shared world, which is a pretty good problem to have. The story is all based on the, quote, comeback sayonara. It sets up an interesting irony as, at the very beginning of the story, we see Arimura reminiscing about his high school days, particularly a game where there was a, quote, comeback sayonara. If you don't know what that is, based on my minimal research, it seems to be when your team is one run away from a tie and the next batter hits a ball to allow at least two runners to cross the base, thus coming back from a loss and winning the game. It inherently has this connotation of never giving up and fighting even in the face of defeat. However, it seems Arimura has lost his drive to win when it comes to love. He gives up before the threat of defeat even presents itself, giving the title layered meanings. Sayonara Game, of course, references baseball, but it also references Arimura's game in romance. He says goodbye, aka sayonara, to his lovers or potential interests without even fighting for them or their relationship. However, the most important reference is in his relationship with Yosuke. Arimura is about to say sayonara to Yosuke, willingly giving him over to Nana, his sister, but then when he realizes his mistake, he ends up with Yosuke, only for for Yosuke to break up with him, assuming Arumura is only with him out of sympathy. Once again, Arumura resigns himself to everything, letting Yosuke walk away. That is until his sister, his rival for Yosuke's love, spurns him on, leading him to chase Yosuke down like a baseball player running the bases. And, as it should, it ends in a home run, so to speak. I like that his sister was the rival in all this, as it shows how much he loves Yosuke. Nana seems to be Arumura's everything, but to be with Yosuke, he has to betray his sister's feelings. This shows him putting himself first, growing from his sister complex to an extent, and fighting for what he wants regardless of the outcome. It shows great character growth on his part. However, as much as I like that there's a rivalry for Yosuke between Arumura and his sister, I hate the emphasis placed on this high school student getting paired up with a near graduated and post-graduated college student. It's just so icky to me. I don't mind age gaps, but I prefer the gap to be between two adults, and while the sister is possibly an adult in the beginning, as determined in my country just to be clear, which is 18, though technically 19 in my state, it's still weird for her to be in high school and pursued by non-high school men. I totally get that this is fiction, and I'm not here to police fiction for morality, but this is just something I don't personally like, and I imagine others probably don't either. I think this could have easily been rectified by her being in college and needing a tutor for help in her classes. Another option could have been for her to have a massive and apparent crush on Yosuke and just not encourage the relationship, though then we'd miss the crux of Arumura's problem, being unwilling to fight for someone's love when he says he's going to leave Nana in Yosuke's hands. Icky. I just hate the idea of a high schooler being, quote, given to a much older adult. With all that being said, this is cute. It's only a single volume, so there's only so much depth that could be expected. I definitely wish there was more, especially on the baseball front, as it feels a bit like an afterthought despite playing such a crucial role in the work's overall meaning. The sister complex is also always a detractor for me, and the weird, quote, giving of Nana over to adult men makes me uber uncomfortable. Thankfully, there is a sequel with this couple that I'm looking forward to reviewing for you all, and I hope you'll give this a read to get to the future iterations, as there is some really great stuff in them. So, have you read Sayonara Game? If so, what do you think? Do you agree with my assessment? Do you not? Let me know in comment below. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time. Bye!